Good morning, everyone. It looks like we're going to have some crazy moves today. The futures are down and the market's about to open. Yesterday, oil went crazy. I've been trying to keep up with the oil prices and I've been slowly watching it sink from $30 to $20. I was sending out text all day like, oh, oil prices just hit $6. Oh, they're down to $4.20, $4.13. I didn't think it could get much lower than $4, but I watched it go under the price of a McChicken, and then eventually they went to negative $40, which is crazy. These are future contracts, but they do represent real oil prices. People were literally paying $40 a barrel to have other people take their oil. So obviously there wasn't enough demand for the oil, so that's why people had to pay to get their contracts pretty much taken away for someone else to take the oil. But this is pretty crazy because it was showing such a lack of liquidity in the future oil market that I'm wondering how this is going to play out over the next few months. There's definitely a lot less travel overall, so there's definitely not as much oil being used, but it's going to be interesting to see how these prices are going to reflect in the market, or if they even reflect at all. I did open up a lot more positions than I thought I did yesterday. Most of those positions were bearish, and based on what the market's doing this morning, it looks like they're already moving into the profit zone. So earlier in the morning, I was watching these oil prices and I made a couple plays. However, I might have made these too late, but they seem to be holding value at least for now. These are all moves I made for educational purposes, so you can see what I did and learn off them. They're not recommendations of any kind, and I can't recommend that you do them because if you do, you probably will lose money. On the USO, or United States Oil Fund, I bought a put debit spread between the strike prices of $4 and $3.50 for 22 cents each. That makes my max loss about $110 and my max gains $250, assuming that the price goes down to $3.50 before the end of the week, because this is a weekly contract. Right now we're sitting about $3.70, which would make my contracts worth about 20 cents each. I had 300 shares of GPRO and I sold 3 covered calls for $15 each at the $3 mark. And these are weekly calls. I was able to collect about a 5% premium for the weekly expiration, which is pretty good if you ask me. This is where I really messed up. I went to sell my $170 Boeing strike call against one I had in late June for the week. And instead of selling the call, I accidentally bought it. And when Boeing's stock dropped like I thought it might, I started losing premium. So I might have thrown about $185 that I paid for that down the drain. And once I realized that I had bought it and not sold it, I couldn't get out of it because of my day trading restriction. I almost sold a call against it for today to turn it into a vertical spread, but I really didn't want to take a risk of any more losses, and I decided just to let it go. I'll just eat the loss and chalk it up as a lesson not to do it again. I bought a WYNN put debit spread for $105 expiring this week at the 72.5 and 75 strikes, for a maximum gain of $250 at the end of the week if WYNN goes below $72.5 and stays there. And I also bought a VXX call debit spread for $232 at the 39 and $44 strikes, so that if VXX goes over 44 and stays there, I'll realize my max $500 profit and I have a max loss of $232. The last thing I did was reinforce my Boeing put side by buying a Boeing put debit spread for about $250 at the 140 and 145 strikes, and I'm assuming Boeing's gonna close under $140 this week, which would let me keep a $500 max profit, with my max loss being $250. Today I'm probably just going to close out some positions that I might be up on. I don't really plan on opening any new positions yet, but I'm going to play the market as it goes and I might see something that catches my eye. I honestly made a lot more plays yesterday than I thought I would, but I'm pretty happy with the plays that I did make. My position sizes are relatively small, but I do have a fair number of positions, so I do have a lot of risk on the table right now. But I think I weighed everything pretty well and I'm pretty happy with the risk that I did take. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you at all, please leave a like or a comment. That definitely helps me, and I'll see you next time. Okay, time to figure out what trades I'm going to make now. Boeing, what are you doing?